here's Lewiston, right? And then there's camping around here.
From Lewiston, we were just a few days from Missoula and adventure cycling. Our route was going to take us on the 12, which we'd been hearing was terrible riding, but we decided to try it anyways.
And then from Kamaya, we head up the 12.
We managed to get off the highway for at least the first few miles and found the site of the old Nez Perce village. It even had a visitor center and museum. They had artifacts like canoes and clothing, and even jewelry made from grizzly bear claws. One display challenged you to match the pelt to the animal. It was funny to note that moo for cow transcended some language barriers. After the short respite, it was back on the 12, a winding road with little to no shoulder and fast traffic that made for terrible riding. As beautiful as the scenery was, we could barely enjoy it. Around many turns, there were signs of cars and trucks that had lost control and gone over the edge. At one point, we passed this large white clump of something that we later learned was unprocessed toilet paper from a big rig that flipped over. A few miles down the road, we were stopped yet again for another semi that had managed to flip itself over. The beautiful scenery was impossible to enjoy with all the signs of road carnage around us, and we were hoping that someone somewhere was working to make this road safer.
A few miles outside of the town of Kamaya here in Idaho, we saw this sign on the side of the road, salmon, fresh and smoked. There's this woman and her son, and they were selling salmon out of coolers out of the back of their truck. Probably her husband and other, members of the family had gone and fished the salmon out themselves, smoked it themselves. It's a little more than I wanted to spend, but it's absolutely amazing. We just broke into it, and it's some of the best smoked salmon I've ever had.
Thankfully, there were a few spots on 12 where we got off to relax. It helped us keep our sanity. Stopped for the night at Loxaw Lodge, which is located right before the big push up and over Lolo Pass. The lodge has camping, a wonderful restaurant, and really cool tiny wood cabins that you could rent for the night. After a long and stressful day of riding on the 12, we treated ourselves to some beds for the evening. The next morning, we got up early to tackle Lolo Pass. Surprisingly, it wasn't so bad. The grades weren't very steep, there was far less traffic, and it was actually a pleasant day of riding.
So we made it up to the top of Lolo Pass. We are here at the visitor center at the summit. Great little place to stop, coffee, Wi-Fi, take a break. The Montana state line is literally within view right there, and as well as the next time zone, Mountain Time Zone. So we're gonna roll out of the parking lot and hopefully go downhill all the way to Lolo Hot Springs, which is just a few miles down the road.
At the bottom of the descent, we stopped at Lolo Hot Springs, where you can rent a cabin, eat, and of course soak. We saw some touring bikes parked outside, which turned out to be part of the adventure cycling Trans Am group.
I'm Kathy.
And where are you from?
I live in Victoria, British Columbia. But I should add that I'm originally from France. I lived in the US for 30 years, and I'm now getting to be a Canadian citizen. Woman of the world. Since I'm traveling with an adventure cycling group, we cook in 2 big pots and a small pot, so I'm responsible for one of the pots. But it's a great pie holder. It's a perfect diameter, so when we pick up a pie, it just fits neatly. And then if you put a cardboard box in between, you could put 2 or 3 layers of pies. It's perfect.
It was great to see other bike tourists on the road. We chatted for a while, and then they took off to go up and over the pass. With a storm coming, we opted to stay in one of the small cabins, which turned out to only be $10 more than the campsite. And it also included 2 tickets to soak in the hot springs.
So here we are at the hot springs. The hot pool is right behind me. It's heated to about 105 degrees. It's not that romantic idea that a lot of people have about, you know, some sort of pool in the middle of the woods surrounded by rocks or anything. It looks much like a swimming pool. But it's so lovely to sit and soak, and it feels really, really nice on all of these very, very tired vessels.